Grant Dania now.
It's Grant Dania.
The gold Logie this year. Oh my God, it's Grant Dania.
And our mum, Chezzi Dania. She's really crazy. And
George,
affectionately known
as Large Sarge.
It's all true.
It's All True, the podcast with Grant and Chezzi Dania.
and
George.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, buddy.
Guys, what?
Yes, buddy, you have officially made the opener.
This is not a stitch up. It's not a G up. This is actually happening right now.
Mate, we've just changed your life. This podcast is now going global. You are now included officially a part of the trio.
You've also changed my workload. I now have to bloody update the YouTube intro and put a little slide of my face in there, my ugly mug. Far out.
It's the price of
this
fame.
is a big moment.
It's the price of fame, mate. Welcome to the club, as Rove McManus said to me when he cuddled me on the plane after winning my gold Logie the next day. Welcome to the club.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, I told him that the other night at the Logies.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
To have someone, you've looked up to your whole life and then welcome you to the club, the Gold Logie Club. It was a beautiful little moment. I was like, oh my God, it was like an initiation. It's like a secret society.
He's like the captain of the Gold Logie Club.
You're the king.
Yeah.
And now, my friends, you are the prince of this podcast.
Oh, really lovely to have you put that together. I know that you both worked tirelessly over that audio and got some of the best voices in Australia actually for that.
Yeah, we sure did.
Should we play it again?
Shit, they were cheap.
Oh,
Let's play it again because it's so bloody good.
They are cheap. They only cost, hot chips.
Hot chips and some Lego, and we got them over the line. Yeah, you think the writer strike in America is big? We pay our kids with hot chips and Lego, everybody. But you know what? It's a love job, and they love George, and he deserves it.
So to confirm, it was your pick.
Dania now.
It's Grant Dania.
Uh, The gold Logie this year. Oh my God, it's Grant Dania.
and our mum, Chezzi Dania. She's really
Okay,
crazy.
we know this bit.
And
George,
affectionately known
as Large Sarge.
It's all true.
It's All True, the podcast with Grant and Chezzi Dania.
and
George.
Whose idea was it to put the little cash cha-ching sign after Large Sarge?
Oh, I think that might have been
That was Uncle Dan.
Yeah.
Uncle Dan on the pots and pans when he mixed it up.
Yeah.
He really knows where it's at. The
Yeah.
money shot.
The kids actually fought over. We should play the outtakes. We did about 500 takes with the kids because they wanted to do it their own way.
Yeah, which is good. It's good that they've got an opinion, but shut up and do it our way.
Yeah.
Is what we wanted them to do. And we wanted it to kind of, obviously represent that this podcast is award-winning and it's going places. And we're now in, what season?
9.
9 seasons in. So
Yeah.
we're a little slow to react. So we wanted it to be special once you officially made the opener.
I
Yeah.
love that you didn't just put a very subtle "and George" in there. You really made a moment of it. So thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
we did.
we've had a couple plays with it. We were like, we thought, wouldn't it be funny to do a little throwaway and George? Like it was so minuscule and understated that it was that made it kind of funnier. So that's why sales kind of went and George. And
George.
it ended on a downward inflection rather. And George! That was her little take.
She's pretty
You know,
funny.
it actually sounds like Peppa Pig saying
It
George. You know how little
does.
brother George? Yeah.
It really does.
Oh, yes.
That's
Get the
funny.
kids involved with Peppa Pig casting.
Let's write a little skit for them to do, and they can do as Peppa.
Oh, that would be pretty funny.
And Peppa's.
They actually enjoyed it. They've been in the studio while we've had a little break, as everybody knows, and our kids have been in the studio pressing buttons. A bit like when we get into the car and they've been pressing buttons and the
Windscreen
car
wipers
starts.
go. The
Yeah.
stereo's on full blast.
The heater's on.
Hazard lights are blinking.
The radio blares. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's
How
fun.
do
Can I just say that the last time that we all caught up was the 30th of June. It is now early August.
What?
Yeah, a fair bit of water under
We've
the
had a
bridge.
bit of a break.
No.
Yeah, and if Chezzi sounds like that she's smoked 27 packs of cigarettes and had 1,000 scotches, that's because Mama Bear had a big night out of the
I
Logies
don't
the other night.
smoke, by the way, but I do sound really. You know what it was?
You are dusty as hell, my friend.
I don't smoke, but I had 1,000, probably 1,000 glasses of champagne at the Logies. Yeah.
Probably,
Definitely.
definitely.
I don't think I felt this unwell since I was. Oh, actually, I don't think I've ever felt this unwell. I have very limited brain cells. I had a fantastic night.
Yeah.
And I really thought that I had maybe 4, maybe 5 glasses of champagne. As it turns out, they kept filling my glass and carrying.
Actually, the wait staff were extraordinary in a sense that you only had to look the other way for 10 seconds and your glass was sort of filled up behind you.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, and I have to say I wasn't a massive fan of the food at the Logies.
Controversial.
Well, sorry.
A lot of people put a lot of blood, sweat and tears
I
in
know.
that food.
I'm sorry. I don't like my meat red.
I loved
And-
it.
Yeah, I know, but I don't. I picked. Well, so
Yeah, you weren't able to obviously request how you wanted your
Yeah,
steak
I
done,
wasn't
'cause they're
able to
trying
say,
feed
"Well
500
done."
people.
You wanted
No.
it cooked though, right?
I did. I did want it cooked. So do you know what? I didn't even get my bread roll.
Oh, you were spewing.
I was so cranky. I went to talk to Anthony Wiggle, and next minute I come back and my roll was gone.
In their defence, your food had been on on the table for an hour. So if you hadn't eaten your bread roll in an hour, that's on you. They just assumed that you weren't into it. You
I
were
was
celiac.
so keen to eat that bread roll, and I looked at Maggie Tabara and I thought, she's eaten my bread roll. And I asked her daughter, who was sitting next to me, and I said, did anybody take my bread roll, i.e. your mum? And she said, oh no, the wait staff took it. So I asked 3 wait staff, could I have a bread roll back? And they all said, yeah, we'll bring you one back. No bread roll came back. So that made the champagne work a little bit more on me. And to be fair, I was having a great night.
You really were.
You know what?
When we were halfway through the night and on the way to the toilets, Chezzi
I
stacked and did the splits. Now, she can't do the splits, so that's
No.
how graceful
Wow.
and accidental the fall was. And I thought, this is going to be a big night. And then I remember being
I
on the
asked
dance
Grant.
floor early in the morning, maybe 2:30, and Chezzi's swinging her shoes around her finger on the dance floor while we're dancing. We're dancing next to Osher Ginsburg, and
Jackie O.
I'm like, you're on a dance floor. What? You can't be in bare feet. There's broken glass everywhere. She's like, I don't care. It's the greatest night of my life. Woo! And then she nearly killed G-Flip by swinging her shoes around, and like the heel nearly went through G-Flip's face.
Whoops.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gee, the drummer, Australia's best.
Australia's best
We nearly
female
lost one.
drummer, music artist.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I really liked her. I feel like we made a connection.
They.
Hey?
Yes, them.
They? Who's them?
She's them.
Oh, them.
Yes,
Sorry.
she's a them.
All right. I really liked them, and I would like to get them on the podcast maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, good fun. We had a lot of laughs. G Flip
still
goes to me,
recovering.
and I thought, because I thought there's no way the G Flips know who's I am, and like G Flip's music is amazing. Film clips are awesome.
Good fun.
Killer talent.
Yeah.
And G Flip comes to me and goes, "You came to my school once," and I was like, "Oh,
Oh, that's
I'm now the old man in the room." I must have gone to G Flip's school as a weatherman, I'm assuming. I couldn't quite hear in the nightclub what G Flip was saying.
It's probably because I was yelling, "This is the greatest night of my life" at the top of my voice.
Yeah, I obviously was doing the weather from G Flip's school. And G Flip
That's so
remembered
cool.
that.
Where did G Flip go to school?
Wow, I didn't get deep into the conversation because at that
No.
point I was worried for the lead singer of Peking Duck, who was about to get his nipple pierced by Chezzi's swinging heel. So I had to save him before we lost another major Australian music identity in the dance floor incident of 2023.
Oh my gosh. Do you know what?
Everyone was at risk.
They were all my best friends. I had no idea who half of them were, but I had a great night. I lost a nail. Look at this. A nail.
Oh, that's painful
and
too.
I have to show. How do I show my feet?
No, it's oh, Jesus, no.
Don't you just
Feet
think
for free.
Are you a reptilian?
my feet are so swollen, and you should see all the tan that's worn off. Like I can't even put shoes on.
You look like you got a skin disease.
My feet are so swollen. And I have been so unwell. I couldn't even put makeup on today, and I still have Logies hair. So that's a good night. But do you know what? On the red carpet, every interview we did, everyone asked us about our award-winning podcast, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They love it.
Wow.
Which was exciting, but also a little embarrassing because A, we haven't won an award, and B, that makes us not award-winning.
But we went along with it. We are award-winning.
Thank you.
And even
thank
worse,
you.
our podcast is called It's All True.
Yeah, I know.
No. Question mark.
Yeah,
It's all true.
true.
Question mark.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that leaves
That's where
the
we
room
save ourselves.
for ambiguity.
We even did a radio interview this morning, and they said from the award-winning podcast. So I'm just going to own it. That's our new title.
Didn't they call it It's All Very True, though? I got the title wrong.
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
It's all very true.
Oh, that's so funny.
Rival network, though. They're trying to throw them off the scent.
Imagine
Yeah,
someone
true.
starts up another rival podcast now called It's All Very True, just to muddy the waters, just to see if they can sort of run off the back of our fame. You know what I mean? Like a fake handbag from Bali, you know, and like there's just one letter's wrong.
Good
Like
good chai.
Chantel instead of Chanel or something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Well, guys, like off the back of the whole award-winning chat,
Yeah.
to the listeners right now, we did a bit of a test before this podcast to make sure that, you know, audio was fine. It's been about a month since we've been in the studios. I'm going to do this live.
Yeah.
Guys. Is that red button on my fader still on by any chance?
No.
Oh, amazing.
I've turned them
That's
off.
really good.
Did you have a little heart
That's
attack there?
exceptional. I did. I thought, you know what, my entire conversation or part of the conversation may not be going to air right now, but that's great.
No,
That's good.
it's definitely. Imagine that. No,
classic.
I did manage to remember in the last second how to operate this desk, even though
Yeah.
I had, you know, I've got a drunk auntie next to me here who's struggling to function. I managed to pull it together.
I trust you both. Now, Mummy and Daddy, you both looked hot at the Logies. I got to say that
Thanks.
those numbers you were wearing, those colours, it was popping. It was extraordinary. I was sitting in my couch, watching the TV, watching the socials, and I felt things. You know, it was good.
Oh, that's so nice. We got mentioned in the Vogue Best Dressed list. We got mentioned in the GQ Best Dressed list. Like, you know, look at that. If only they would have seen us at the end of the night.
Jesus, I pity that bloody poor Uber driver who carried us home. I think he actually carried us up to the room.
Did we get an
That's an
Uber?
extension from of service. Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
You know, I think though I got to say, best on ground goes to the club sandwich we had at 4:30 a.m. in the morning in the hotel room.
Yeah.
They always taste good. I wish it was a kebab. Sorry, no offense.
I have a theory. too, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong. So Grant, you won gold in 2019,
2018, yep.
18. Okay, and how many Logies events were there between then and this one? Did you go to any?
We went to 2019 and then COVID hit.
Okay.
And then we didn't
All
go
right.
last year. So we haven't been since 2019.
We didn't go last year because I didn't have a TV show, so I thought I don't
Well,
want
no-
to take up someone's spot if I
Yeah.
don't really have a TV show.
And also, we didn't go last year because my dad was unwell and we really needed my parents to babysit as
That's
well.
true.
So, yes.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, my theory was just around, you know, did you party so hard because when you won gold, you probably weren't able to go full blast
So
because you had
true.
all the media the next day.
Great question, brother.
So true.
Yeah, in 2018, when you're nominated, it's actually a very stressful experience because you got the night is a long, right? It's a long night with a lot of awards, so you can't drink, so you got to you can't really unwind and relax a little bit with your
And enjoy it.
Yeah, because you just you want to be coherent just in case the odd chance you got to get up on stage and make a speech, and you want that speech to be special. You want it to mean something. You want it to reflect the occasion. You want to really drink that moment in. Right?
So phones going off and stuff.
Yeah, when there's people in the background who are just playing with their phones and technology, not paying attention to what you're saying. Yeah. So if you do win, your media commitments straight after winning that Gold Logie Award continue for a couple of hours. So you don't join everyone in the after party till about 2:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock, right? So you haven't drunk all night and everyone else is hammered. And that's not always the best.
No.
When everyone's really kind of slurring and wanting to chat to you and they're spitting on you as you're talking and when you're the only sober one at the party, it's
hard.
It's a bit
also, like after the Gold Logie, I think you turned up to the after party, said hi. We had I think 2 dances, and then we had to get back to the hotel because you had a car coming with wardrobe and makeup at 4:45 in the morning. Because you had to do Sunrise, you had to do Today Show, you had to do
You're doing broadcast now for 8 hours straight the next day. It's just radio, interview, newspapers, television stations. You're just doing live crosses to the whole world. So it's an onslaught.
It's a big day.
Which is cool.
I feel like, honestly, and as a viewer, I feel like is the Logies a tough crowd to be up there presenting or to present an award? Do you have to do a really, really good job to get a really, really good reaction? Otherwise, things kind of fall flat.
Ask Daryl Summers. We should get him on the
guest
podcast.
today?
Yeah.
Here he is now. It's anytime you've got to present in front of your peers adds more pressure, because you're amongst those that you either look up to, and you're also amongst your employers who pay your mortgage. So
Is it judgy?
No. If it falls flat, it's judgy. If you do an okay or a great job, the room is pretty supportive. Yeah, you don't want to bomb on the night.
Like you and Larry, you guys were spectacular. Everybody actually laughed when you came on.
Yeah, they loved it.
I can't remember. It felt like, to be honest, when you're doing it, like you are dying. Like because the room's distracted. We were on at 10:30 at night. You got to remember this thing started at 7:30. So they're over awards.
And we've been seated since 5.
They're over people coming out and doing their shtick. They want the night to move forward. They want to know who the winner is. So you don't have them for long, and so you feel vulnerable because you go, I don't know if this is landing. I don't know if we should have done this. But I saw a few people giggle, and as long as you had a good time, then that's fine. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I can't even remember what we did, to be honest.
Oh, it was pretty funny. I was filming.
I know he hung shit on me for being unemployed and and for my clothes, which was pretty funny, and I got him back with a couple.
I actually filmed Grant and Larry doing it, and in the foreground was poor old Denise Drysdale falling asleep.
Another icon of Australian television. From she was a big Hey It's Saturday, Daryl Summers.
She's won 2 Gold Logies, I think.
Yeah. So
we were sat on what we called the naughty table, which was actually really fun. So we had Maggie Tabra, who
that's someone your mum or your grandparents would have idolised.
Yes.
Like she was was she a homemaker queen? What was she, Maggie Tabra?
She was a model.
She's a model and broadcaster, so big in, I assume, 70s, 80s.
I have to Wikipedia.
In that era, generational icon.
Yep. So we had her to the left. Then we had Jess Rowe, and we had
Jessica Rowe, the newsreader, married.
She was also the host of
Peter Overton.
Yep. Thank you.
The host of Today Show at one point too.
She was with Carl Stefanovic.
Yeah.
She also did the Studio 10.
She has a podcast, the Big Jess Rowe Talk Show.
Oh,
she does.
She does. God, Maggie Tabra is 86 years old.
She was in good nick.
She was. I loved it. I was doing a video of the table and trying to show the behind the scenes, and she spoke about Jess Rowe's nail polish colour. And I said, "Oh, did you say that was terrific?" She said, "I said it was horrific." Oh, it was very funny.
So we had who else did we have?
And we had
Kerry Ann Kennelly.
Yep, and-
obviously Gold Logie winner, host of the Midday Show, and
She was hilarious.
recently controversially exited I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here in feisty circumstances in a big fight with that maths chick.
Yes, and I don't think that she was happy about it, but yeah, we didn't really go there. It's too noisy. And we also had Rove and his beautiful wife Tasma.
We did.
Yeah, so it was a pretty fun table. Even Denise brought her own limes to season the food.
I saw that. What a genius.
And she took everybody's scraps in a little piece of foil back to feed Jess's dog, which was
For the animals.
which was just so great.
That's so that's so Gold Logie baller maneuver. You know what I mean? We can't let these go to waste. I'll
Yeah.
just push these into a little Ziploc bag and take them home
No,
for
it's
the
in a
puppies.
piece of foil. She brought her own foil, and she's like pulling it out, and it was very
But it
funny.
just goes to show that it's a room full of mostly normal people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mostly normal people. Some with quite an inflated sense of entitlement.
Oh, yeah? Who's
but
that?
I don't know.
You talking about me?
No, definitely not. No, just some people. Actually, there was a lot of people on the red carpet this year that I didn't even know who they were. Someone was like, that's a TikTok star. Actually, I think it might have been either Liz. I can't remember who said it to me, but they're like, that's a TikTok star. My kids love her. And it ended up being Michelle Payne, the jockey, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
is she big on TikTok now? Or-
I
or
have
is she
no
confused?
idea. I think confused, yeah.
okay.
There was a lot of people that had very long legs.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of leggy maths action.
Yeah, they were the maths people. You could kind of tell they had a bit of a saunter,
Yeah.
didn't they?
I was going to say Michelle Payne coming down on a horse wasn't enough.
No.
To give away.
She was with a guy from Bathurst, Archie Thompson.
Is he from Bathurst?
Yes. I kept looking at him thinking, I know his face from somewhere because he went to Bathurst High, and now I'm really upset that I didn't even go and say hello.
Well, that was very rude.
It could have
from
been
you.
like, Bathurst Unite.
Yeah, represent.
Woo, represent.
Shots,
Yeah.
shots.
No shots. I didn't need any shots. The after party was really good fun. For the first year ever, all the networks were in one after party.
Which was a great idea.
So great. So normally you have to go to your own network's after party, which is Channel 9 always had the best after parties.
Well, they were the host broadcaster and they went all out. Channel 7 was never really a big fan of the Logies because they weren't the host broadcaster and they thought that Channel 9 always,
yeah.
rigged it. And so they'd put like 3 beers over the bar for free and then close it, half an hour after it started. So we would end up having to, when I was at Channel 7, we would break out of the 7 party when it finished, and then we'd crash the Channel 9 party, push past security. We'd usually get like Jennifer Hawkins at that stage. She'd distract the security guy with her, supermodel looks as we'd all sort of rush and make a run through, and they couldn't
we
catch us
did.
all. And then we'd just break in, and then we'd find whoever had won the Gold Logie that night, which that year was Scott Cam.
Yes.
And we'd say, hey, man, we're partying with you. Is that okay? And then he'd say, yeah, welcome. Come on in. And as security rushed in to pull us all out by the scruff of our neck, he'd go, no, they're with us,
They're
and
with
I've got
us.
the Gold Logie. And so we're like, we're with him. Sucked in.
And then we'd run into a Channel 9 exec and they'd be like, what the hell? Grant Denyer and Guy Sebastian. Remember that?
That's right. There's 27 of us hidden in the back of this car to drive over to their party.
And Jennifer Hawkins had a gold fork.
She'd stolen cutlery from the event.
Oh, it was like,
I think she was ready to shank someone on the way in if they didn't let her in.
It was the most random night.
We had former
was
Yellow
before
Wiggle.
kids.
I remember former Yellow Wiggle was sitting on top of me in the back of the car as I was squashed in the boot.
Oh, that's right. Greg.
No.
Sam.
Sam Moran.
That's right. Yes.
So I had Sam.
Far out.
This is a long time ago.
We had Sam Moran, Jennifer Hawkins, me, Guy Sebastian.
I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Wild
who else.
party.
Yeah.
The cash cow.
Probably. It was a good time. But yeah, so this after party was a lot of fun. And I had 3 espresso martinis given to me by Mitch and Mark. You know, they're from the block.
These Mitch and Mark are two lovely gay guys who are like, home renovators, homemakers. They now have a show just starting on Channel 10 on a Friday night. Lovely dudes.
Real sweethearts. But 3 espresso martinis after that many, no. And I don't think they drank all night because they were right down the front on Channel 10's.
Oh, they had the CEO next to them, so they would have been,
So they were very...
Best behaviour.
Yeah. And,
well, I went, it was so loud in the nightclub. I've gone in to talk to Mark and to whisper in his ear just so he could hear, so we could have a conversation. I was going to ask him something about his TV show. He thought I was leaning in for a kiss. He turned around and kissed me on the lips. And I was like, I want to talk in your ear. I just wanted to chat.
Oh, classic.
And then someone goes, do you know him? I said, no, I was just wanting to talk to him. But as I've gone in, like into the ear, he's turned and given me a full kiss on the lips. And I thought, well,
classic.
okay. Welcome to television.
It was pretty funny.
There's a series in like getting cameras and microphones at these after parties.
Oh,
I can
mate.
understand why they don't, but far out. There'd be some good.
If you took one in
stuff
there,
in
mate,
there.
and you saw an executive doing something wrong and you got video evidence of them, you know what I mean? You'd have a great career forever.
Was there executives in there? I can't even remember who was in there except in our tiny little circle, which it was actually pretty big, wasn't it? It was in front of the dance floor.
Yeah, Mama was up for a big one. You know, it was a rare night out for Mama Bear, and she deserved it. She looked immaculate, absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
And
Mary
deserved it.
Ionitis, the most gorgeous dressmaker.
It was amazing, that dress.
She's really... I love her.
As I joked on the red carpet, tonight I'm dressed by Peter Hillier's curtains.
You looked so cool. We were
It was a beautiful
edgy.
Brent Wilson suit that I had, who's made my stuff for quite a while now for Family Feud and various TV shows, Dancing with the Stars, and nice little patent bit of gear.
You're just both of fashion icons, you know. I look at that and go, that's what I want to be
You're
one
saying
day.
that now while I'm wearing my tracksuit pants and a white t-shirt these days.
Yeah, fashion icon. Do you know what? The funniest thing is when you get to an interview and you're not renowned to be that stylish and people say, who styled you? Who styled you? Oh, yeah, my good friend Penny Hunt, who did work at Vogue magazine, she styled us. So in clothes that we probably would not normally wear. So
It's nice to sort of feel a bit special and fandangled every
Yeah,
now and then.
it is.
Like, because we are often in our gumboots and trackies, you know, around here on the farm. So it's kind of nice to sort of mum and dad to go out and have a little occasion.
it was nice.
And you pulled it off. Like I could not see myself in anything like you two wore. I just would feel so out of place, but you just pulled it off and it looked great.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
What's it like watching the event? Is it as long and kind of hard going as it feels in the room sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely. It's sometimes pretty
Boring.
awkward to watch at times. Because I feel like at moments, you know, jokes didn't quite land. But in saying that, there was some really beautiful moments too, you know, like the tributes to the great people who have since passed on in the industry, and the performances were incredible, and some of the speeches too were, you know, you can tell they do come from the heart. So there's moments of greatness, but it's long, man. It's a long schlong.
It is,
It
and
is
and there is this tendency that people come out and they have to do jokes, and you know, I don't think that needs to be the way. I know that there's a fair bit of pressure
You
on
mean
everyone.
presenters? Or-
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you're an actor and you're an actor and I don't know, a reality star, don't feel like you need to pump out, you know, mega amounts of gear. I know that, you know, we kind of did a little bit of that as well. But when you're asked to be a presenter, you feel like, oh, you know, I want it to be fun. I want it to wake the room up, or at least just reward them for bloody watching, for just giving them a laugh or two. But yeah, the risky part of everyone trying to do that is they can't all work. Right. So
And everyone
yeah.
has a different sense of humour.
And so, you know, there are writers, and sometimes it's, or most often, or nearly all the time, it's written for you. And sometimes it might not be just how you normally go about your work. But yeah, but it's those awkward moments are
Awkward.
I don't know. I kind of like them, to be honest, because it's like, oh God, this is so uncomfortable.
Well, we're all talking about the awkward moments now, aren't we?
Oh, we are. There was quite
They're
a few.
becoming the TikToks and the memes and all that stuff.
Yeah. Hey, George, next year,
Yeah.
we were talking about this. We reckon that we're going to get you a media pass and put you on the red carpet to report for the podcast. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, sure. Guys, it would be an honor. I'd love to do that. Is there anything else you request of me? Do you want me to wear a certain costume? Do you want me to ask certain questions? Like what's the genre? What's the vibe?
Well, I think definitely later in the night you'll also run security to protect all the big A-list stars from Chezzi's swinging high heels.
That won't happen
from her
again.
hands.
We should have been vox popping the entire night, like a Logies edition of It's All True, all hooked up with microphones.
that'd
be fun.
Probably make it to air.
That'd be
Yes.
so much fun, don't you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I reckon, because we had so many questions from every media outlet about the podcast. I definitely think we should do that next year. Yeah.
That sounds like
This has been a big return. I feel like this return, like this very episode, is bigger than like a new season starting or a new year starting, because we've got
is.
a lot to unpack.
We've got
Lots
a lot.
happened.
A lot has happened.
We're on a bloody TV show.
I know.
A bloody TV show coming up. We haven't announced that on the podcast.
No,
Have we not said anything about it?
no, because we were
I got
away
engaged.
filming when it.
I got
know.
engaged.
I know. Quick, okay.
Far out.
Press the.
What are you doing?
So much going on.
All right, take us back to the engagement.
I was just going to say we'll do it next episode. Really spread it out.
No. This is big.
Yeah,
This
I
is
don't
much
know
bigger.
I don't know if we can leave this alone, brother.
This is much bigger.
We followed
than
this
us.
love story, since day dot. We're all invested. Every single listener is here along for the ride.
Yeah.
This is big. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, guys. All I will say to anybody listening is don't rush it.
What?
I'm kidding.
Oh.
Obviously.
Oh my God.
obviously-
I thought you were about to say it's off.
Oh, yeah. No.
No. I was being ironic. No, I'm just very, very happy. It's a very special time. It was about 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning, 8th of July, in Harvey Bay, doing a nice morning stroll along the beach. And I jumped down on a knee and I said, Carly, will you marry me? And she said yes. And we're both just very, very happy and loving life and already planning for the wedding. And it's, crazy. Love wins. Love wins.
Wow. Yay. Oh, mate. Jeez.
No, but I want to.
I feel like, I don't know.
I want to go back a bit here. So
Sure.
we saw you like a couple of days beforehand, and we both said, "Gee, George is so happy.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see." He's
You were luminous. You
Yeah,
were
beaming.
You were glowing and beaming, and you had this. You're constantly smiling, and it's so obvious how happy you are, which is beautiful.
Oh,
it's beautiful.
so nice, and just the confidence oozing out of you was.
Like this time we went to the same restaurant, and you ordered a steak cooked this time, and you knew what to say. You went
just
with
changed.
medium. It was you've grown up right in front of our eyes.
It was a disaster, and here we are now. But no. Look, I wouldn't say that it takes a person to make you happy, because you got to find a lot of happiness within yourself. But since
wise.
meeting Carly, she's definitely added a layer to my life that I didn't know that I needed. And it was just both of us had this very knowing feeling that we want to be with each other forever. And so we've just sort of mutually decided that we're going to kind of get engaged, and sort of a long engagement at this point in time. I'm just enjoying the moment. But caught up with you guys, and then maybe about 4 or 5 days later, popped the question, and it's nice.
Oh,
Wow, because I saw she had a beautiful promise ring on. Yeah, and you said one day I'm going to replace that ring like with a engagement ring, and I was like, oh, that's sweet.
It's a quick
Didn't
jump from
realise
a
it was
promise
4
ring to a an actual
4 days
ring.
later. Yeah.
I promise that within 72 hours, I will give you a different ring.
Were you nervous, George?
I was a little bit nervous, not going to lie. I thought it was a bit weird too, waking her up at 5:30 in the morning on a Saturday while we're on holiday, saying, "Hey, do you want to go for a stroll along the beach? And if you want, you can do your hair and makeup too."
Ah.
But
And
she did that, and there was like a bloke walking his dog, and somebody, strolling the beach, drinking a coffee, and it was a really intimate and private moment, and super special.
did you cry?
Yeah, I teared up.
Yeah.
I tear up anytime I think about it, to be honest. So let's move on.
Oh,
Okay,
no, let's,
who was the
let's go
first
deeper.
person that you told?
Mum.
The first person we told, was our family, was our parents, and then we went on to our close friends. And it was funny, the day of asking the question, you posted on your socials that we all caught up kind of thing, and we met George's lovely girlfriend, and I'm like, oh well, that's changed.
That's amazing.
Oh, that was amazing. Oh, do you remember when you proposed to me?
I sure do.
Do you remember how nervous you were?
I remember. I remember. I was so nervous. I was nearly sick
Yeah.
for days leading up to it. And on the day, I was clearly so overwhelmed and so nervous
It
that
was so weird.
I think I was acting a bit strange. And when my plans weren't quite going to plan, I was getting a little bit shirty because it's like my dream of proposing was sort of not going to plan, and I was freaking out.
Yeah, you had really bad anxiety and you were like, and then, bit teary, you know, because they wouldn't let me hold the baby orangutans.
Yeah, I wanted orangutan to give her the ring, and now
Sounds very
in my-
dangerous.
which now just saying it out loud was so ridiculous.
A baby orangutan.
Very risky.
He's gonna go. If he's up,
He was either going to eat it,
Straight
and then I
in
was
his
going to have to
mouth.
wait for him to shit it out to put it on my finger, or it was going
How
to grab it
romantic.
because it was sparkly and shiny, and it was just going to run off into the forest and never come back.
Yeah.
And there'd be just an orangutan living in the jungle with a really shiny finger.
And what did they, when you asked them, were they looking at you really puzzled? Like, why would you want that to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this, yep.
Right.
And I was like, why don't you see the importance? Because it was obviously very important to me.
It
but
was,
I'm just
yeah.
another dude from another country, so they didn't really care. And when I got a no from them, I was
You
heartbroken.
were pretty shattered. Yeah.
Heartbroken. But
It's a
then
very stressful
it took
thing.
maybe, because I was planning this for a while. Obviously didn't plan it well enough, but planned it for a while. But then it was later that night, I realized when we were laughing and lying in bed, just laughing and, giggling. And I thought, you know what? It's not about where you are or how you do it. It's the fact that you're just enjoying each other's company. And this is the moment that you kind of want to have forever. It's the laughing and just lying down and telling stories and feeling in love. And that's when I was like, no, this is it. This is what it's about. And then I popped it then because it was still in my pocket.
It's such a beautiful story, and it's so true. Like I thought I was going to do it the day before on the Friday, as the sun was setting, and I thought, gosh, I just want to. I want everything to line up. I want us to both not be stressed and not thinking about going, because it was towards the end of my holiday, and I'm like, we're going back to work soon, and we're already thinking about what we're going to do when we get back home. And I'm like, when do I do it? And it's so true. Any moment is the right moment. It's a special thing.
Yeah, but then society kind of does, make you want to amplify the moment and make it big and memorable, and all those social media campaigns kind of make us feel like we need to.
One
it
up.
needs to be
and-
perfect and special, but no, you're right. It's when you come to the realization that it doesn't need to be any of those. That's a nice feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good
It
for
is
the
nice.
two of you.
Oh, I love love.
Yeah, love's pretty bloody decent.
It is.
and after seeing Chezzi on the red carpet the other night and how hot she was, what I was thinking about. I wasn't sure if we've been together for 14 years now.
Oh, you keep saying that. We've been nearly married for 14
We've
years.
been nearly married for 14 years now, together for 17, 15, 16, whatever. And I wasn't sure if I was going to renew the contract, to be honest. But then I saw her the other night and I went, you know what? Contract extension engaged. Poof. Let's continue, baby. Another
look at
14
that.
years.
Got
She's too up
approval.
to trot. Can't let her go now.
Do you know what? I had a split like up to my thigh, and I was trying really hard to put my leg out on the red carpet in every photo, and it wasn't out in one.
No.
And everyone was so worried I was going to flash my undies because I'm not very graceful when I was trying to like move. Which eventually made me do the splits.
We were practicing the leg out a lot, like, because we don't normally, like I was saying, we live at home in our tracky jacks.
Oh, yeah.
We don't normally, do red carpets or openings. We're just not that kind of people.
No.
So Chezzi's never really done the big flowing dress with popping the leg out.
No.
So we were practicing it in the hotel and getting coached from, the stylist and everything.
And every time I did it, they were like, whoa, that's too much. We can see your undies. I was like, oh, my God, this is disastrous. I don't want anyone to see my big Bridget Jones's, like, bloomers. But you know what? Somebody on the red carpet. Somebody on the red carpet. I was laughing about how I didn't want to fall over because everybody would see my Bridget Jones's undies, and they said my dress is so tight. I was told not to wear undies.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's lost a lot of weight, and she's looking amazing, but I was like,
Who was it?
It was Jackie O.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, oh my God, how can you
That's a good bit of scoopla.
how can you feel confident walking along
Oh,
here with no
actually-
undies on?
On a bit of Jackie O, I may or may not have been listening to their brekkie program the day after the Logies, and there was some audio that you may have done with their intern Pete at
Yes.
early hours of the morning that didn't make it to air for quality control.
Oh,
Really? How do you know that? That's all they
classic.
said. I don't
It
remember
all played out on
recording.
air, and I was like, "Here we go! I'm about to hear the glorious Daniels and intern Pete," and they said, "No, we can't play it for whatever reason." So, still waiting to get out there, world.
Well,
Oh,
I
classic.
don't remember recording that, so I'm sure it was high quality.
they were filming a lot because Jackie went straight to work.
Yeah, we were partying with her on the dance floor with Pete, intern Pete. Obviously,
Yeah, and Jackie and
she was still going. I think when we retired, she was
still going.
She was still going. So the fact she went straight from the nightclub to her radio studio in her dress was wow, well done.
oh my God, she obviously didn't drink, mind you. I couldn't tell you what anybody was drinking. All I remember is looking at Zan Rowe's face when I was talking to her, Zan Rowe from the ABC, and I said to
Triple J.
Grant, I feel like I need to send her an apology because whatever I was saying to her was absolute gobbledygook at that time. And I remember seeing her face and she just did not look really into the conversation, and I thought, it's time to go.
That's good recognition of that moment.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys had a good time, and thank you for sharing with everybody exactly how your night went. You're Australia's favourite party couple, I think.
Oh.
I think we should party more often. I think we should make this a regular thing.
I can't. I'm too old. I can't recover. It's day 2 after the Logies and I'm still unwell. We tried to go and I've got so much work to do, and I said today, right, we dropped all the kids off. We're child free today, which never happens. And I said, I've got so much work to do. Let's go and get some breakfast, and I couldn't even eat it. I'm still unwell.
that's
2
not
days
great.
later.
A
Wow.
2-day hangover.
That club sandwich we had must have been off. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. Food poisoning. We will come to your wedding and your after party, and we will entertain everyone on the dance floor. That'll be the next
Yeah.
time.
Well, I've already booked your musical act for your wedding. I've got Peking Duck coming.
And G-Flip as well.
G-Flip will
G-Flip.
be on the skins,
Yeah.
on the drums.
I'm in.
Incredible.
Jackie O's going to MC for you.
Yeah.
And free nipple piercings as
Free
well.
nipple piercings,
my God.
courtesy of Chezzi's swinging shoe heel.
Oh my God. You know what? We've had a big break. We have filmed a TV show, which we can't say too much about, but we can when it
So we
comes
haven't
out.
said this on the podcast at all.
No, we haven't.
Okay, well, it's
No,
called
no
it's-
mention.
It's a brand new version of the world famous global smash hit, The Amazing Race. It's the celebrity version, which is the first time it's ever been done anywhere in the world. And they ran out of celebs; they couldn't find any. Everyone said no, so they've asked Chezzi and I to do it. So we are on the amazing race as husband and wife, the amazing racing duo,
Team Denya.
Team Denya. Woo!
Yeah.
It's
I
big.
cannot wait for this. I'm going to be glued to the screen.
Because if being a married couple in the media for 14 years hasn't been enough of a challenge, we are
Let's
putting
head overseas.
our love and relationship to the real absolute pressure test of racing and traveling together.
Yeah.
Under pressure.
It was intense and it was amazing.
So we have filmed it, okay? So we have filmed it. It
Yep.
has been
So
done.
you didn't die.
It's completed,
Didn't die. We are alive. We have returned somewhat intact.
but we're
and
not allowed to tell you if we've won.
No.
Okay? Can't tell you.
No.
Bit awkward. I can see the trophy behind you. Nah,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Oh.
Shh, don't.
I don't think they give a trophy, but I don't know what they give.
You
if
win a country?
win.
Yeah,
You win a-
you do. You.
classic.
Yeah. Congratulations, Zimbabwe is yours.
But there was a lot of support for us, which, on socials when they announced it, which is awesome. We're very happy. And a lot of people saying, get off the TV and get back on the podcast because I miss you each week. In fact, we've had lots of people upset that they haven't been able to watch us and hear us each
We probably
week.
should have addressed that at the head. Say, sorry, there's been such a long break. We've been off making a TV show.
Yeah.
That's probably should have been the first thing that we
Probably.
said.
And somebody said, and I remember they said, you guys don't read out the reviews anymore. Can you please start reading them out? So I've sent you a review to read half of. Actually, we've all got one. Yep. So I just thought that we should,
We weren't reading them because we weren't getting any.
All right. Well, we have been getting some now.
Now we are.
Where did you send it to?
Oh, did it not arrive?
No?
I've got one while you figure
Yeah,
that out. This
fire
is
away.
from Happy Bundy. 5 stars. Time for your own TV show, please. So enjoyable and relatable. Please produce your own TV talk show.
That's
interesting.
Oh, God.
Sounds like extra work.
Does.
Does sound like extra work.
Considering that we can't even work out how to set up the...
That's just the TV version of this.
Oh, yeah. Well, we already do it.
And we're on YouTube. So,
On
yeah,
YouTube.
if you're just listening to the podcast, you can follow us on YouTube. Where it's just this with pictures.
So Mr. ZR1, who sent us a review, I think, a little while back, just saying that the podcast is very addictive. Few topics resonate deeply. His wife made him listen.
That's how all men are introduced to this podcast.
John, okay, so John, ADHD update, because his wife said after listening, she wanted him to go for an assessment. She believed that he had ADHD. So ADHD update. After a mild stroke in November 22, a few weeks later, I went off for my assessment. Report card read, mild ADHD and high functioning autism.
Oh.
All thanks to our podcast. Explained my personality and time management issues. To my wife's disappointment, the medication for autism is not an option. He's got a good sense of humour, this guy. The career path I chose was a perfect fit for my condition. Ha 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 ha. Thanks again to your podcast. We enjoyed it immensely. The guests, the banter, the topics, etc. Keep up the entertaining show. Until next time, John.
Nice work, John.
Well, thank you, John.
Oh, I feel sad that he had a stroke. Yeah.
Stroke.
This is Becca M76. Best podcast ever. My break from parenting is this! Exclamation mark. Keep the episodes coming. This is my favourite podcast to listen to each day. I love the variety of topics and how nothing is off limits. I also enjoying the quickie apps too. Makes me laugh out loud and cry at the same time. I can't get enough. Don't ever stop, Chezzi and Grant.
And George.
And George.
And George.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're back now and we're going to be back in your ear holes every week. So,
Once a month, we're back.
Well, once-
we take a month between each episode now.
well, don't laugh.
We're professional parties, guys. That's what we do now.
We're just going to turn up to everyone's red carpet events.
Yep.
No, we're not. We're not. No.
It's good to be back, though. It feels good, doesn't
to
it?
be back.
Yeah,
It does.
I've missed hearing you guys and seeing you guys. It's good to just have this thing rolling again.
Well, the countdown is on. We think that the Amazing Race is probably going to go to air in
October.
We don't know exactly, but we're pretty sure it's somewhere around there. So we'll let you know as soon as those deets come in.
They're a bit like our podcast. We don't know exactly when the next season will kick off.
We don't even know what we're talking about each day when we come in here. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But next week, we are live to Germany to chat with Australia's first ever female astronaut.
Oh, my God. Does that come off?
Yeah. So you know what
This
I
is
did?
big.
So I emailed off to the Space Centre and I said, hey guys, we're like a really big deal in Australia. And they said, oh, well, we're only doing 3 interviews. You know, we've got the Australian, we've got blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, well, we'll be the 3rd. Thanks.
Is this... I've got so many questions.
I know.
This is... Oh, my God.
So
'Cause
we're...
and you know what I'm saying? My TikTok feed is full of conspiracy theories, right? Including flat earthers, right? So I want to hear what she says to flat earthers because I think that is the most ridiculous.
Who thinks that
conspiracy
the
theory.
Earth is flat?
There is tons of people out there who think that there is some sort of global conspiracy. It's so ridiculous. So I'm going to ask the person who goes up there and looks down on the Earth
So how if the
what
if,
they think of how. I don't even know how they justify their arguments, but there's lots of arguments.
so what the sun just like goes flat?
Look, mate, I can't get
No.
into it because there's lots of other stuff like the moon landing. Did it happen? B, apparently, if it did happen, the previous astronauts who were the first people to land on the moon said they weren't the only ones there.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I found video evidence of one of the astronauts saying that.
Really?
Yeah, they weren't allowed to talk. Apparently their lives were threatened when they returned, which is why if you look at any of the footage of all the astronauts being interviewed after they came back, they don't look happy. They look
Scared?
scared.
Wow.
And apparently there were a lot of threats to the safety of themselves and their families if they concealed certain amounts of information. But one of the things to have come out is they saw other things there when they landed.
Like what? They saw aliens?
And buildings.
Buildings on the moon?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they believe that they think that there is a civilization on the backside of the moon, on the dark side of the moon. But they said when they landed in that crater, they looked up and they weren't the only things there. There were other things there.
Grant knows the most bizarre things. I don't even know how you know all this stuff. You just, yeah.
It's cool. It's cool stuff.
What about in our Alien episode?
Well, it's this. And this is the thing, right? This would have seemed ridiculous for me to say this out loud 6 months ago. But now on the news, the Pentagon has come out and said them. The US government is releasing footage. Now there are Senate inquiries where people are coming out talking about all sorts of alien proof. So now it's actually now a given that aliens exist. So we're going. So yeah. So if that's what they're telling us, what else are they not telling us?
Well, I don't know if she'll be well versed about that, but I want to ask her about how hard it is to be a female in that industry. Anyway, we'll ask her.
I
next
did
week.
hear the other day that they're better suited to space than men.
Why?
I can't remember the answer. I don't think
Because we can multitask?
probably. I think the shiwi has something to do with it.
What?
No, only joking.
Oh. The shiwi. Oh my God. That's
Yeah,
actually,
I don't know biologically. I don't know if your organs are better suited to it, or your blood, or lack of oxygen. I'm not sure. But anyway, fascinating. That's going to be a cool chat.
I definitely have a lack of oxygen right now. to my frontal cortex, or what is that?
You have an excess of champagne in your blood, is what you've got at the
I do.
moment.
I've never ever had that much
There's a lack of
champagne.
blood in your veins because it's currently being occupied by some sort
Yeah.
of brute.
It's not brut. It was actual French champagne.
It was actually pretty nice.
It was pretty easy to drink for the first 3 hours. Well,
You should have stopped at 7 or 8.
I should have. Yeah. Or I should have eaten some more.
How many do you actually reckon you had?
Oh,
Far out.
bottles.
Over 20?
Bottles.
I reckon over 20.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I reckon
Yeah,
over,
a lot.
Over 20 glasses? Yep.
I've never
That's a lot.
in my life have I woken up and been I've been hungover, but not violently.
She spewed. She spewed
Yeah.
a lot, and I'm pretty
wasn't
sure.
gonna say that.
I think you were spewing so hard. I think I heard a kidney come out and hit the bowl.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, Grant, why didn't you stop me? And I was blaming everyone. I was like, I can't believe I'm so unwell.
And I wasn't. Because I didn't go hard because
Grant
it's a
didn't
work
really
thing,
drink.
right? It's a work thing, and you don't want all your future employees there or other networks, but he's seeing you, be a dick or hitting G flip in the face with your shoe.
Yeah, specifically that incident. Did you think those days were behind you though, Chezzi?
I don't know what happened.
Frank the tank
Frank
came
the
out is what happened.
Yeah.
Frank the tank come out.
I don't normally drink that much, and there's a reason for it because my ADHD goes full frontal assault when if I've
All her
nosed
ADHD
over.
tendencies magnify.
So I was like the loudest, like I'm a happy drunk, and I was like lifting people up on the dance floor, and I think
Any regrets? Any regrets?
none that I can remember.
Good time had by
But
all.
I'm sure that they will come out.
Or maybe a bit of audio that I apparently gave to Kyle and Jackie O, depending on what was said in that audio. But no regrets.
No, it was a good night, and we don't do it very often. And it was a celebration because this is a big year for us. I don't know
You've
why
got
I'm
a lot
saying
to
that.
celebrate. You've
We
done so much.
do. And Grant's like, forging ahead, because he's always been in front of the camera, but he's really turned his hand to writing his own TV shows. So how many do you have now?
8.
He's got 8 TV shows. 2 are sitting with the biggest production companies in Australia and international. There's a lot about to.
There's one major Australian network who's currently has one of them,
Can't say too much, but it's
and 2 overseas networks as well in these very early days. But
G Flip was going to be the host, but that's now since it's fallen over.
now since her eye surgery, she's no longer able to
she
look
wears
straight.
glasses, doesn't she?
Not going to work.
She did have it. She had her shades on in the nightclub.
Yeah.
That's so rock star.
That is so rock star. That's what I should have done. Had shades on, it might have helped. Yeah, no, big year, so big celebrations.
Well deserved. What's that G Flip song that's really good though? Before we go,
I have
think
no idea.
I think is it called "Never Trust a Chezzi on a Dance Floor"? I think it's called.
that's the one.
No idea.
Be Your Man. Be Your Man. It's new. I
Oh.
recommend it highly.
It's a
It's
good
so
song.
good.
Can you play a little bit? Because I don't know it.
I'll try and get it through the desk right now.
Be your man.
Can you hear that?
If you think that you're happy, it ain't true. I see you out with them other boys. That ain't you. Your eyes give off secrets. No fool.
It's coming
Sponsored
through,
by G Flip.
it's coming down the line a little wonky,
You.
but it's nice. You can
That's
hear
exactly
strong her
how I
voice is.
remember. Yeah, that's exactly how I remember my conversations with her. And Aisha, how do you say her name? Aisha. Oh my
She's
gosh.
from Below Deck,
Yep.
that big show where they all work on mega yachts.
So
and
we
she was
did
on
a-
I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out Here last season as well.
Yeah, we did a call through to the south of France to Hannah Ferrier,
Also from Below Deck.
who we had on this podcast. We did that together. Some random things. Anyway,
There is no
Good.
shame
No
in
shame. Nope.
letting your hair out from time to time. Congratulations, buddy. We're so stoked
wow,
for you.
so happy for you.
This has
George.
been the happiest love story. It's our own little Romeo and Juliet on
It
this
is.
very podcast. We're very proud of you.
Yeah,
And
it's
you've,
beautiful.
Thank you.
you've touched our hearts, buddy. We're so glad to see you happy.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. I love it. I love you guys. I'm so glad we're back doing the podcast. And let's rip in and commit.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're committing. We're ripping in. We'll see you in the next podcast. It's great to be back. Thanks
Yeah.
for lending us your ears. We really do appreciate the fact that you join us on this wonderful journey. And
This award-winning podcast. That is
Award-winning!
the only way that we will refer to it.
see you next time. And it's all true.
Bye bye.
It's All True, the podcast with Grant and Chezzi Denya.
Bye bye. See you next time.